Today we will be presenting the Production and Operations and Logistics Management project for Group 9. Melinda Paxton completing chapters 7 through 9 and 6 through 18, the title and reference page. Jasmine Perry-Lewis completing chapters 1 through 6. Daniel Sizemore completing chapters 10 through 15.
Chapter 1, Introduction to Operations. Operations and supply chain managers have 5 responsibilities: managing processing, quality, capacity, and inventory in supply chain. Operation managers run the processing. Supply chain managers looks at how those goods move from suppliers to customers, and production operations is on the hands-on side of creating the product efficiency. Chapter 2, Operations and Supply Chain Strategy. Operation strategy consists of patterns of operations, decisions for serving customers better than competitors while supporting the business strategy. It focuses on key areas like cost, quality, flexibility, and speed, and ensures that operations are aligned with the company's goals. When done efficiently, it allows the business to deliver value to customers and maintain a competitive advantage. Chapter 3, Product Design. The best companies don't pick one, they max out all 3 and stay ahead of the game. Chapter 4, Process Selections. The most important thing that we should take away from this chapter itself is the more you customize the work, the longer that it will take. Some brief examples. Continuous process means 24/7. It's what assembly lines are products that move from steps to steps. Batch flow products made in groups. Job shops, small jobs, and custom work. And projects are just unique and creative products. Chapter 5, Service Process Design. Service organizations provide intangible products like experience. It involves high customer interaction, which makes them harder to standardize. Manufacturing organization produce physical goods and have more control over quality with less direct customer involvement. Service focus on customers' experience, and manufacturer focus on producing in the physical product. Chapter 6, the flow analyst. So what we have here is a basic flow chart where we're gonna check. There's a flow chart for checking your oil. We start at start, and then we go to park your vehicle on a level ground. Turn the engine on. Wait 5 minutes. Open the hood. Remove dipstick. Reinsert dipstick again. Check oil level. If oil level is okay, yes, you're finished. If it's not, add oil. Check again. Level's okay. You're done. The end.
In chapter 7, we're going to look at the lean suppliers versus traditional suppliers. Lean suppliers tend to be local and have short lead times. They may make several deliveries a day to the same location. This is a way of passing your inventory holding costs to the supplier. Building a long-term relationship with your supplier can help ensure reliable supply at a specific price. Traditional suppliers are more likely making bulk deliveries that are less frequent. This means that they have higher inventory and holding cost. Relationships with your traditional suppliers are more focused on price negotiations rather than long-term relationships that will focus on continuous improvements. In chapter 8, we're focusing on managing quality. So looking at ISO 9000, this is a standard developed by the International Organization for Standardization that explains how companies need to develop a system that ensures quality. It has been revised to include customer requirements, continuous improvement, and management leadership. These standards also require quality manual and record keeping. The Baldrige Award criteria examines 7 categories: leadership, strategy, customers, management by fact, or how well a company incorporated data analysis into their operations, your workforce, operations, and results for quality and performance excellence. Chapter 9 focuses on quality control and improvement. Six Sigma uses 5 steps. Define the process needing improvement. Measure the customer input turned into goals. Analyze your root cause of defects. Improve the process as changed and monitored. And then control the measurements, ensure improvements are not lost over time. Six Sigma reduces defects. It's data driven, and it's more designed for more complex, time-consuming projects. Lean systems are designed to eliminate waste and non-valuables. It's less data-driven, and it's more designed for smaller, less time-consuming projects.
Solving advanced forecasting problems begins with examining all the data to determine if a trend or seasonal pattern exists, then selecting the appropriate model. You then calculate the levels using smoothing to update the average each period and calculate the trend to measure the rate of change over time. If seasonality exists, compute seasonal factors using appropriate ratios. Then combine level, trend, and seasonality to calculate the forecast. All the costs associated with capacity planning help businesses balance supply and demand. Hiring and layoff costs involve workforce changes. Overtime and undertime reflect labor usage efficiency. Inventory costs come from storing the products. Subcontracting is outsourcing production. Part-time labor is cheaper but is less stable. Stockouts lead to lost sales and unhappy customers overall. When designing a scheduling system, several key factors must be considered. First, delivery date commitments are important. These should be based on available capacity, customer needs, and coordination between departments like marketing and operations. Second, identifying bottlenecks is critical because the slowest part of the system limits overall production. Managers must find and reduce bottlenecks using methods like adding capacity or overtime. Third, ensuring jobs are completed on time requires continuous monitoring and adjustments. Managers must track progress and take corrective actions when delays occur. Finally, deciding when each job or task should start helps organize workflow efficiently. Tools like the critical path is the longest sequence of activities from start to finish in a project. It determines the shortest possible time needed to complete the project. Any delay in a critical path activity will delay the entire project because these activities have no slack. Slack refers to the amount of time an activity can be delayed without affecting the overall project completion time. It is calculated as the difference between earliest and latest start or finish times. The significance of these concepts is that managers can focus on critical path activities since they directly impact the project deadline. Activities with slack provide flexibility and can be adjusted without delaying the project. Overall, understanding the critical path and slack helps improve scheduling, resource allocation. Vendor managed inventory is a system where the supplier is responsible for managing inventory levels at the customer's location. The supplier has access to sales and inventory data and decides when to restock. This helps reduce stockouts, lower inventory costs, and improve efficiency through better coordination. The ABC system is a method of classifying inventory based on importance, usually measured by dollar usage. A, items are the most important, typically a small percentage of items but a large portion of total value, so they require close monitoring. B, items are moderate in value and in control. C, items are low in value and require less attention. Together, these systems help businesses manage inventory and effectively. A material requirements planning system is used to plan and control inventory and production. The main element of an MRP system include the master schedule, which outlines what needs to be produced and when. The bill of materials lists all components needed to make a product, and inventory records is what tracks what is currently in stock. The inputs to the system include customer orders and demand forecasts, which determine what products are needed, along with the inventory data to know what materials are available. The outputs are purchase orders sent to suppliers for raw materials in shop, or production orders sent to the factory to produce goods. Overall, MRP helps ensure the right materials are available at the right time.
Chapter 16 focuses on supply chain performance, risk, and resilience. Measuring performance focuses on cost, quality, flexibility, and sustainability. Key measurements used to measure performance throughout a supply chain include throughout time, which measures how quickly the supply chain reacts to demand, cash-to-cash cycle time, which is how quickly a firm is paid relative to paying suppliers, total unit cost, which is the sum of all cost, and then cumulative greenhouse gas emissions, which measures the emissions created throughout the supply chain and its impact on the environment. Ways to manage risk include supply chain mapping, which documents all the customers and suppliers involved in the chain. Then supply chain transparency, which helps identify weaknesses and opportunity. And then supply chain mitigation, which has 3 stages. Stage 1 is when companies are proactive at mitigating risk. Stage 2 is detecting and responding to minimize disruptions. And then stage 3 is damage control and recovery. Chapter 17 looks at the advantages and disadvantages of outsourcing and offshoring. Outsourcing means getting products from outside suppliers and not producing them in-house. Some advantages of this are access to technology, scale economies, lower cost and investment. Some disadvantages include risk of disruption, risk of quality and delivery failures, the risk of losing capability to make a product, and then risk of price increases. Offshoring involves moving work to another country. Some advantages of this mean lower labor cost, lower operating expenses, access to global talent, and then accessibility to new markets. Some disadvantages include currency changes, potential costs associated with quality, rework, warranty, air freight charges, tariffs, taxes, loss of intellectual property, and costs due to disruption, and then communication and cultural barriers. Chapter 18 looks at global logistics. So global logistics refers to the transport of goods through a supply chain and across country borders. Some advantages include lower total cost, new revenue opportunities, and new markets. Some disadvantages include time delays, border restrictions, tariffs, more disruption risk, and increased cost due to disruptions. So the complexity includes information transfer, which requires many documents to be processed, invoices, packing lists, certificates of origin, shipping instructions, custom clearance, freight invoices, receiving documents, and payments, as well as maintaining quality during transportation and the long, complex supply chain.